Real Madrid are not going to pay 100 million for Trent. It doesn't mean they don't want him. They just
not just Real Madrid. There is nobody in the world that would pay 100 million for Trent.
If you wanted to join City probably would.
City would not have paid. There is no club.
How much did City pay
the only
for
club that would have probably come close, maybe Saudi Arabia. And
What do you mean? We are talking about a generational talent.
What generational?
This Trent Alexander-Arnold. That don't cost 80 million.
Who would have paid 100? Nobody.
No, it's like 80.
Who? Nobody would have
maybe
paid
80 pounds, but in euros it's like 100.
Liverpool fans are not being realistic. Not just Liverpool fans, right? Mentioning 100 million is laughable.
It is less established that it is not.
It is.
It is not.
I think you're speaking from a rival
Also, you
perspective.
support a club that paid that amount. It's Friday. It's Only Football Day. My name is Tunde Young. Welcome to the greatest show on earth, episode 14 of Only Football Podcast, brought to you by Paul Sports on the digital airwaves of YouTube
and
episode Spotify. The able backup clappers you can hear are Ayoola Kelechi, Faruq, Izuchukwu Akawor, and of course Joba Ogunwale aggressively scratching his face for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have beard. That's not what he was scratching. I was doing this.
No, I feel my skin.
Why do you have this Mount Zion beard still?
I feel my skin. I feel my beard too.
And if you can't notice, Joba's voice is noticeably different today. It's more. It has a bit more
raspier.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a sickness.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. Yeah.
Wow.
ARVs and stuff to help you survive. But
disclaimer.
Izuchukwu is here as well, dressed in a very interesting shirt. Do you want to explain the concept of this shirt?
Yeah, it's for somebody. Don't worry, she will say it.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, they're not born that way. They're not born that way.
One stone for like 20 birds.
They're not born that way. You don't play penalty shootouts like that.
She will see it.
Okay. Ayoola Kelechi here, dressed in a Liverpool jersey, and there's only one place to start, which is Trent Alexander-Arnold, confirming his Liverpool exits. We were supposed to talk about it last week, but because Liverpool like talk, we could not get to it. But Liverpool are going to be without Trent. Trent is most likely going to Real Madrid. In fact, very basically confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. And there's been a lot of reaction from the Liverpool fandom, mostly negative.
Sure. Fabrizio and Steven on that day, they both confirmed it.
If you don't know who Steven is, our in-house lifestyle reporter. And yeah, Steven's word does count for a lot. I don't know why he's laughing. Well, why your own colleague, like you and Steven literally have the same job. Again,
I'm not laughing for that.
and Steven will watch this episode. I know this is how you feel about it and his work. It's not like you're even working for Bleacher Report or something. All of you can work for the same place. Anyway, as we were saying before Farouk displayed workplace classism, is that Liverpool fans have mostly been reacting negatively to the news of Trent Alexander-Arnold, which, in my opinion, is somewhat fair. I mean, I don't expect you to be happy that you're losing your best player or one of your best players on a free transfer. But at the end of the day, we have to also determine to what extent the negativity that is allowed, and who the blame is the blame going to the appropriate quarter. So as the Liverpool fan said, I want to give you the courtesy of getting your thoughts out first before the rest of us share.
I do not share the view of many Liverpool fans, especially on X and Twitter. I understand it's really bad image. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a Scouser, grew up in Liverpool, started his football career at age 6 at Liverpool's academy and all that. So I understand. If there is a player that should be dedicated to playing his whole career at Liverpool Football Club, it should be someone like Trent. So I understand. And even if you're going to leave you shouldn't be living on a free transfer. I get that point, especially when the player we are talking about here is a generational talent. So I get that part, but I also understand from the human side, because you look at it, everybody wants to get better, everybody wants to leave his comfort zone,
advance in life,
and then advance in life and be like, oh yes. So I can understand Trent's perspective also, that I've won, and it's not like he hasn't won. He has won everything. The only thing he didn't win at Liverpool in the competition that he played was the Europa League. So I can understand his point of view. He's not leaving Liverpool, let's say maybe for Manchester United or even for AC Milan. He's leaving for Liverpool for arguably the biggest club in the world. So he wants to try a new challenge. So I don't really understand why. I think the best reaction would have been to feel indifferent about it and channel your anger towards maybe the club, because the club shouldn't have let the situation get to this situation by letting his contract run out. I think they should have. The writing was on the wall.
Yeah. I mean, the club will argue that they've been offering him contracts, but really they did not preempt it enough.
Exactly. The writing was on the wall since last season. And I think that was the moment for you to offer him something, or maybe extend his contract for 2 years and then decide to sell. That way you will know that you will recoup maybe £50 million, £60 million, and then it will be a win-win situation. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Liverpool fans cursing him out and all that, I just feel like they are being hypocrites, because we saw the reaction to Zubimendi's when Zubimendi decided to stay at Real Sociedad. For me, I think I feel indifferent towards it. It's not like I'm wishing him bad at Real Madrid, and it's not like I'm wishing him well. It's really, really sad that he's living for free. I feel like a generational talent of Trent's caliber should be like, we should be getting at least £100 million for such generational talent. But I'm not really going to go out and say, I want him to feel. But again, I also don't care about what he does at Real Madrid.
And I'm okay with that. And to your point about probably wanting to get the 100 million for him, it does, it makes sense from a fan's perspective. But from the player's perspective, because people that say that, how can you leave your boyhood club on the free transfer? They say it like, Trent intentionally cost Liverpool money. But it's a case of, he only wanted to join one club. And that one club are very clearly broke at the moment, even though they are living on their past glory. But people that know football can tell that Real Madrid are broke. And
somebody was for saying it a few weeks ago on this organization, but
Faruq, please.
Now that everybody sees it, I know I like
Faruq. Thank you.
Where did you see they broke?
Anyway, the point.
Where did you see?
Let's not get sidetracked. Let's not get sidetracked. You address it where you can. But the point is that Real Madrid are not going to pay 100 million for Trent. It doesn't mean they don't want him. They just
not just Real Madrid. There is nobody in the world that would pay 100 million for Trent.
If you wanted to join City probably would.
City would not have paid. There is no club.
How much did City pay
the
for
only
Diado?
Club that would have probably come close, maybe Saudi Arabia. And it was
How
not
much
going
did-
to-
how much did
We are
Man City
talking
pay for
about a
Diado?
generational talent
What
here.
generation now?
This Trent Alexander-Arnold cost 80 million.
Who would
It's
have
not
paid 100?
100.
Nobody.
80K.
Who?
No, it's like 80.
Who? Nobody would have
maybe
paid
80
I think-
plus
pounds,
add-ons.
but in euros it's like 100.
Liverpool fans are not being realistic. Not just Liverpool fans, right? Mentioning 100 million is laughable.
It is less
hold on,
established that
hold
it is
on.
not.
It is.
It is
I
not.
think you're speaking from a rival
Also, it's
perspective.
about the
and all
club that paid that amount for Lukaku. If I know.
This is
But
not
go ahead.
laughing,
The
but let's
fact
be
is-
serious.
hold on,
Let's
hold on.
finish,
I'm not
let's
paying.
finish.
I'm not saying this thing from any rival. If I want to be a rival, I know what to say and how to say it. Now, I'm being real. I'm saying Liverpool fans are not being realistic, and it's not just Liverpool fans. I believe that fans as a whole want to always be the ones to dump people. They just want to
Yes.
be the ones to.
Okay.
We are
Yes.
tired of you. It's time for you.
Yeah.
When
When they don't want you, leave my club.
They will mess
But
you up.
when you have
But
value,
when
you can't
when you
leave.
want to do it, when you feel it's time for you to move on, they become angry and become all this. So for me, that aside, Trent has made his decision. And for me, if someone has given you 20 years, I don't know the kind of dedication you're looking for anymore. He has given you...
I want everything he can win.
Yes, he has given you 20 years of his life. That's enough dedication.
And it's not like he's just living for living sake. He's living to join Real Madrid. He's not joining a direct rival.
You didn't do your own side of this thing, and then he walked out for... He won't be the first person to walk out for free, right? He won't be the first person. And then they start saying, at least get us 100 million. 100 million for where? Who is going to pay 100 million for a right back?
That part I don't agree with.
I'm just saying that for me, there is nobody that would have paid, not Real Madrid, not Man City. I'm not saying he probably would not have gone for a sizable fee, but 100 million, because it seems this is, maybe they had a meeting. It seems Liverpool fans had a meeting somewhere and decided that we should get 100 million for.
But they probably arrive at that fee because of what they see in world football today. And even if that's the fee they arrive, I would say that's pretty conservative, because if you consider that Grealish went for pretty much the same amount.
Exactly.
Bellingham at the time he was signed by Real Madrid was not a bigger...
Tchouaméni was almost 100 million.
Yes, it was not a bigger
Tchouaméni was not
than Arnold is right
like,
now.
Tchouaméni was still up and coming. He cost almost 100 million. And even now that we have seen him, there's nothing 100 million about him.
I feel like maybe it's a bigger issue than Trent itself. It's the whole scenario kind of like puts Liverpool in their place, and I think that is that is what is really hurting the fans. It's like your girlfriend leaves you for a richer guy. He hurts.
Yeah, are we really? Is Real Madrid that much bigger than us? That's how it is.
Especially when Real Madrid Liverpool have been almost as equally successful.
Yeah, exactly.
We said be fine, boy. Now, but he just get money past you. Yeah, he hurts because. Like, when you tell them that, okay, you guys did this to Zubimendi, they'll tell you that Liverpool are not Real Sociedad. We are Real Madrid are not Liverpool as well. But they'll also tell you that we can also win the Champions League. And you can't hear from the way they speak that they just do not want to be the club that the big players are leaving. Yeah, it hurts. And that's why I can't really tell. Like Jamie Carragher says, don't tell them how to feel. I can't really tell them how to feel. And I understand their this thing. You want to make it difficult for players to decide to leave your club. The next player that wants to leave the club now would see the way Trent was treated. Trent that is... I can't call Trent the Liverpool legend now at 25. Yeah. It's fair to call him a legend, and look at the way they are treating him because he's deciding to leave.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the don't tell them how to feel point. And let me get out your last thoughts on it, because don't tell them how to feel. I agree with that. I'm not going to tell a Liverpool fan to not be sad about Trent leaving. I'm not even going to tell a Liverpool fan to not be angry about Trent leaving. But it's what you do with your sadness and your anger that really annoys me. The abuse is getting... Because in my opinion, Trent has done everything he could do to not live in a disrespectful manner.
Yeah.
We've seen players that want to leave clubs, and we've seen how players usually do it. Trent has gone about this in a very respectful manner. But I don't see anything else he could have done to make this better. And still is getting abused. Still is getting... He was booed in the first game he played, the game against Arsenal. There are fans calling for him to not get a farewell message from the club. They should just let him leave with nothing.
He tried to sabotage our league title.
So there are fans that are coming up with there are fans that anybody that sides with Trent is an enemy of the club now.
To be honest, I've not seen anything vitriolic, and all of what you've listed, I don't think is that bad, to be honest. I think it's a fair reaction, to be honest. That's what I think.
No, I don't think so. I think, like you said, there's reason to be angry, there's reason to be sad, but all this vitriol, all this anger should be directed at the club, because it's starting to become a habit. Because you look at next season, already they have Konate with only a season left on his contract. Already they have Kelleher with only a season on his contract. And if Konate, for example, Real Madrid are also circling Konate as well. If he decides to leave at the end of next season, are they going to also be angry again at Konate? They
got lucky. You should never be in a situation where Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah are all available to leave. Yeah. You just got lucky that 2 out of 3 decided to stay. If all 3 should ideally be...
In fact, it wasn't just luck, because the only reason why they were able to placate Salah and Van Dijk was Trent leaving, because that frees up huge part of their...
give it Trent Salah.
Although Trent was on his current contract, he was on 100 and something.
Yeah, it's still a lot. It's still a lot, because when you consider...
One of the highest earners. And one thing also, I think the message that it sends is that if a local boy that started to be the captain future captain of Liverpool, can say, "Oh, I want to leave."
That's
Liverpool.
what exactly.
I want
Like
to
you
leave
can.
Liverpool.
That is a club problem. It's not a trend.
And everybody's dreams are different.
Can you really call it a club problem when they've offered him? They've been offering him contracts for a while, and also there was like a significant change in the club's leadership. Like Mike Edwards left, and then club brought his own guy as the sporting director, and then that guy
Faruq,
left. And then
if
they
your
brought
3
someone
best
from
players
Bournemouth.
are in a position to run down their contract at the same time, it's a club problem. There's no other way to spin it.
What you're still describing is a club problem because the change in leadership is not the change in leadership of Trent, it's the change in leadership of the club.
First.
And at the end of the day, they had a decision to make. Where I see is that they had a decision to make.
My own is I don't know why it's surprising for a lot of them because if I spend 20 years someplace, and I decide that maybe let me go and experience something else.
I mean,
What else
As
am
a
I
human
going to
being, your
win?
dreams can change.
Like what else am I going to apart from winning the same titles? Maybe with Real Madrid, it's a different feeling.
Yeah, he
It's
might go
not
to
the
Real Madrid
same.
and be successful. Doesn't mean
Yes,
it doesn't
yes.
validate his decision to leave.
yes.
But at the end of the day, Faruq,
it's a
as a
different
local
feeling.
lad, yes, you grew up wanting to play for Liverpool, wanting to captain the club, wanting to win everything you can with Liverpool. That is fine, and it doesn't mean it was any less true. But when you achieve a lot of that, you can have newer dreams, which is it happens in general life. Imagine you have a regular job, and you change your job, and everybody now starts attacking you because you change your job.
But
what if I want to work for a different company? What if I want to earn more money?
But that's not change. That's not change reason. Like change reason is he believes that he can achieve more at Real Madrid, and that is what hurts Liverpool fans. The fact that you think that you can do better.
He did not give that
He
reason.
did not. He
Even
said
in his official video, he just said he wants a new experience.
That of course now like that's the diplomatic thing to say.
So when did you not get this?
Yeah, calm down now.
Is that
Did
what you're
Steven tell
feeding
you?
your audience?
Maybe Steven told you.
Before and this is what hurts Liverpool fans because last summer there was an interview and Trent said he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. And from that it was from that point on the links to Real Madrid started. Like it is obvious that he believes that he sees the Real Madrid as
That's not when
as
the
a
links
step
to Real
up.
Madrid.
I feel like the
These
links
have been ongoing
to
for years.
Again, no.
It was just last year it now became realistic because of Real Madrid's new approach of waiting for your contract to run down.
Real
So,
Madrid is even hovering over Saliba because Saliba too is nearing.
Real Madrid
and
does it.
Arsenal fans are beginning to
look,
beg their club.
it is clear that that's Real Madrid's new approach.
Yes, the
The best players in the world have become way too expensive.
Yes, they are beginning to target.
I still think it's a form of
very smart.
I still think it's a form of
very
brokenness.
smart.
It's just because the best players in the world have become expensive to the point that you cannot even afford them anymore. If regular players are costing 100 million, how much we want sign Mbappe? They had 180 million rejected for Mbappe with 1 year left on his contract.
And they know they have this appeal that once
So and the players already want to play for us anyway. So you want to play for us, don't sign a new contract. When you run it down, you can come here for free and get a sizable sign on fee.
50% of what you
The money that would have paid your club, we will just give it to you and your agent.
Because that's what they did for Trent because they offered him I think about
20 million.
No, it was more than that. It was close to 100 million in sign-on fees. So Liverpool obviously cannot offer that.
And because
Trent should have gone and spit on them.
Trent will receive lesser amount than what he would have received at Liverpool if he had signed. Yeah, but the sign-on fee.
Fans are always angry. Fans are always
Of
angry.
course, like people don't leave Real Madrid or Barcelona in those circumstances, and Liverpool wants to see themselves that's the level they are on. So
as a Liverpool fan, Joba, because everybody keeps mentioning transfer fee. Why does the Coutinho one pay less than the Trent one? Is it because you got 145 million for it, or Coutinho was just not that important in the grand scheme of things?
Local boy.
I mean, the Coutinho one, you could probably understand that Liverpool were not really successful at that period. Yeah. And also, South American players, their dream is always to play for either Barcelona or Real Madrid. It's not like we were competing for a league title then. The goal was to finish inside the top four. Yeah. I think we reached the Champions League final then, which was just the added bonus, and we got 145 million pounds, which was I think that as of that time it was probably the second highest transfer fee. So it's all like you could understand that as a Liverpool fan, but in Trent's case, we could have gotten £100 million. I still maintain we could have gotten £100 million because Trent is a generational talent.
If he had 5 years on his contract.
Yeah, Trent is a generational talent. 2, he's a local boy, and you living as a local boy that has won everything and still has a chance to win more sends a message to potential players that will probably like, oh, I like Liverpool, but if a local boy is saying Liverpool is not the club for me,
Not the pinnacle.
what's the sense?
I guarantee you, I assure you, as first of all, someone that just watches football and also talks to footballers. It is a job. Nobody is making life-changing decision on what Trent did. That's what it is. At the end of the day, footballers will do the best thing for them in that particular, and I encourage it because when the clubs don't need you, they are very, very ruthless.
Brutal.
And even
the fans.
Have you seen a case where let me use an example?
fans.
Let me use an example of say Ferreira because I can't think of a better example. Ferreira, for example, had like 3 years left on his contract. He was already out of Chelsea's plans, but he knows if I leave now, I'm not going to get this contract anywhere else. So he'll just sit for that 3 years and not play. And fans will be insulting him and say, "Why can't you leave? Freeloader, just eating our money, stealing a living." Meanwhile, I'm a 30-something-year-old fullback that came here because Mourinho was the coach at the time. What's my concern with Ancelotti does not like me? Who will give me this 100k plus that you're paying me every week now? So people tend to forget that this thing is a job.
They do.
Think about it from the lens of a job, and it starts to make sense. At the end of the day, everybody will do what is best for them, especially financially. Don't you have ambition? Telling a Nigerian
I don't think it's fair to compare football as a career to any other job. Like nobody is cheering for you. Like you are not controlling anybody's emotion. Like the articles I write.
So
nobody's cheering for me. Yes,
Faruq dropped that banger. That's top 5.
Nobody's cheering for you, but the boy you know right and you go. No,
that's different. I'm saying that like football. These people actually spend their
money. Do you think it's fair that somebody should have to factor the feelings of strangers into his life-changing decisions? I don't think that sounds nuts to me. You're telling me that if I want to make a career decision, players make moves on different reasons. Wait. In the case of say, because for lack of a better example, someone like say Di Maria, that the main reason for leaving United was because his family was miserable. They did not like it there. They did not like it there. It sat well with United fans because they play anything for them at the time. But if Di Maria was player of the season and I decided to leave for that reason, you are telling me that I should factor the feelings of random fans over my family? That's just like I want to leave United because my family is not happy here. My family is not happy in this city.
They're not safe.
So if that reason is valid, then my career or my happiness or my ambition should also be a valid reason.
I get that. What I'm trying to counter is that I do not believe you can compare football as a career to any other because
fundamentally it's a job. That's where
it is a job, but it is not that type of job. Like it is different. Like people are emotionally tied to this thing.
What other job should you factor the emotions of other people that you don't even know personally into your decisions that affect only you?
I don't know. Entertainment business
exactly
that would also involve any job that would involve you having fans would eventually involve you or
so
someone.
Whose fault is it that your own job doesn't allow you to have fans?
No, there's no problem with it. That's not what we're saying. That's what we're saying. We're saying like this is
I'm just saying the fact that their job is on TV and you watch them does not mean that it's not a job.
Yeah, like
it's still a job.
We are saying that it is a different type of job. And this type of job involves emotions, heightening the emotions, and that is why sometimes people react separately. Like nobody's going to be mad when they are.
Gerrard faced the same situation in 2005
and did not make it right.
And Donnarumma.
And okay, Gerrard now he refused to leave, even though he did not regret it. But in his heart of hearts, he probably has some sort of regret. Especially when he looks at players that have left and ignored the abuse. Van Persie left. Arsenal fans still say he can never be a legend to this day. But at the end of the day, even though Van Persie post his career now associates more with United, even though he spent like 2-3 years there than he does with Arsenal, because realistically, Arsenal fans do not want him to associate with them. But at the end of the day, he got what he wanted when he left. So I need fans to realize that you do not matter as much as you think in the grand scheme of things. Yes, you matter. I'm not going to say fans do not matter at all because it's a sport. It's for general consumption. But you do not matter enough to think that you should be the sole reason for someone to make a decision. Like, doesn't make it's even narcissistic to think. So Trent should not leave because you want him to stay. As who? Does he even know you?
They want to be, like I said, fans want to be the ones dumping people.
Everybody wants to be the person.
when-
Everybody wants to be the person.
Nobody wants to be
No, that's what I'm
dumping.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Fans always
want.
want to be that in this same football you're talking about. When a player decides, for example, look at how all the thing about Zubimendi and all that. Whenever a player is linked to the club you support, the way you behave. When another team wants your own player, you begin to behave another way. Without you suddenly forget that when you were looking to sign somebody from another club, this was what you were doing. Rojo,
You even encourage players to force a move.
to not play.
Yeah.
Rojo
Show
did
that
not
you want
play.
to join us.
Rojo did not
Force
play
a move
at
and leave
14.
your club.
Anthony went on strike.
I'm actually
And
happy.
people were happy. But when we do it at Manchester United, fans call it bad attitude.
You don't even need to do it. You just need to want to leave.
Want
Yeah.
to leave, and then they will start to do. That's what I'm saying. Them fans believe they have the right to these things.
I saw those things they were saying about Zubimendi last week.
I
and
want
it was
players
crazy.
He does not have
to
ambition
do
Kidiko. He will regret not joining Liverpool. You have done all you can for them to see that come to a bigger club. Now they don't show you what is.
I want players. I want players to
it's
do more of this. Is for me. Players should take care of.
Players,
Yes, they should take care of
what
themselves.
is in your best interest at all times.
Simple.
Because the club and the fans
Are
will
ruthless.
always do what is in their. The way fans move on from players, it doesn't matter what you have done. If Trent stayed at Liverpool and from next year picks up a 2-year injury and doesn't come back the same, you'll start saying thanks for the 6 years, but it's time to move on. Just twist your ways annoy me. Thanks for the Champions League, but it's time
Nobody
to
will remember loyalty.
The things I'm seeing Messi fans tweet about Messi now because of your man. I don't even believe my eyes.
This football is not a loyalty
I
business.
can't believe my eyes.
How many people can you say we're loyal and did not end up regretting it?
Maldini.
Fair enough.
Messi did not end up rating it. That they forced him to Paris.
Thank
When he
God,
did not-
this
Yeah,
one was
no.
before.
That's the
What
point now.
do you regret have been?
Anyway, because we don't have time, let's
Actually said you kind of regretted it in the recent.
Wait, don't say Messi the rumor.
Yes, he said, Totti said if Messi was a rumor, how many times?
You don't go with Ballon d'Or.
Ballon
Cheers for that, boy.
was it all worth it? When you do send off, you carry your pikin, use iPhone, snap picture, and I remember that cell phone, I remember that game. But at the end of the day, was it all worth it? The human mind is natural. Even if you don't end up regretting, but your mind will wander to what could have been. Because you have the talent and you chose to stay with this one thing for your entire career when you could have explored and checked that. So your mind will always go, what if I had gone to Real Madrid when they wanted
So
me?
Osimhen should not stay at Galatasaray despite
No,
the
Osimhen
love.
should not start again. But we'll talk about this in the next episode because this actually they've started a trend. Stay with us, Osimhen,
Bro,
and
those
they've been
Galatasaray
writing
fans,
emotional messages.
blackmail.
They've been like tagging both Osimhen and his internet handbag. I'm not going to dignify him by mentioning him on this show. But let's move on to the Europa League final, which, in my opinion, in terms of the stakes, I think this is probably the most important football game of all time. And I'm going to tell you my reason.
Tunde Young, be serious.
Okay, wait. I don't think I've ever seen a final with this level, this high stakes for both teams. Two teams that came into the season and have underperformed massively, 16 and 17th in the league, having respectively their worst seasons ever. And you now have a one-time chance. Winner takes all. Only one of you can save your season. The other will be condemned as a failure if you don't win. Like I've not seen a final with this much stakes. Thank God that a United fan is right here. What are you doing if you don't win that final? First of all,
Nothing. I mean, what should I do? I don't think I agree with you that it's the most important game of all time. I don't know why you said that. High stakes in what sense? Both are failures, whether they win it or not.
yeah, but like this significantly, even financially,
It
because
doesn't-
the financial effect of playing the Champions League next season.
Again, that's the thing. I think that's one big issue. Both of them are failing on the pitch. The Europa win on whether you win it or you don't win it. The pitch remains the most important thing. Let's assume United wins. This is not the first. What did he do? What did the financial whatever do? Nothing. So that's the most important thing. So if United wins, for Spurs, maybe because they've not won anything in a very long time. So that would have significance for them. For United, I don't see... Only got to the final, for example. He didn't win it, but he got Champions League ticket through the league. What happened next on the pitch? Nothing. United are in the finals again, right? So you win it. Champions League ticket, it says nothing about the future. It doesn't say anything about the future. You've only just gotten ticket. You had 2 ways right from the start of the season to get Champions League ticket. So there's nothing like high stake in this particular game. It's just playoffs.
Can someone please disagree with you on my behalf? Because I'm tired of doing it.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, even though as a Manchester United fan, I do understand what he's saying. Winning the Europa League does not improve the current season. Doesn't make it suddenly a successful season. But looking forward, I think it does have a lot to say in terms of what Manchester United can do. Like he said already, the financial aspect of qualifying for the Champions League, it's very different from qualifying from the Europa League. Even
Here's the thing, though. If you win the Europa League, the money you're getting for qualifying for the Champions League, it's not something significant. In fact, you get more money qualifying via the league.
yes, but at the end of the day, actually playing in the Champions League. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Actually playing in the Champions League.
Especially when you contextualize that again, these teams are 16 and 17.
Yeah, and
so this is literally the only hope they have.
The main problem with that is that Manchester United want to sign players. You are 16th in the table. You know that you need signings. So a windfall of qualifying for the Champions League is going to go a long way in
Track Liam Delap to the club.
in getting the financial
Liam Delap is not convinced about maybe him switch for United.
But that's the truth. That's the truth.
If they will be in the Champions League
It does sound funny, but he's actually waiting
He's a mad person.
for them to qualify for the Champions League.
He's a stupid boy.
But at the end of the day, that is what it is, and he's not going to be the only one.
So
Other
for
players,
him, is either Championship or Champions League. There's
yeah,
no in between.
other teams are going to come for Liam Delap. He's
Like
of that quality. We don't know yet.
Which quality?
Of which
Chelsea.
He's
Chelsea
of,
also.
he's of Premier League quality.
Of the PR.
No, he's of Premier League quality.
A
We can't deny
12
this.
goal Ipswich striker.
Exactly, a 12-goal Ipswich striker.
It's of the quality. It's of the quality for Chelsea and United to be dragging.
That's not what I said.
Making them wait.
Again.
Say, whichever one of you play Champions League next season, I want to join.
That's not what I said. I said he's of,
when they almost
and he was a Premier League quality striker. When they almost went down, he still went
That's the
to.
point. He did not score 20.
How many did Daniel Welbeck not just reach his first? Welbeck not reach his first 10
Don't
goals
say it.
after 17 years.
Ayoola, in the Premier League that I grew up watching and loving, the way things work naturally. If you are a striker in your first season for a relegated club and you score 12 goals, we will clap for you, we will applaud you, but you will join West Ham. and if you wait, no, West Ham is not Man United, West Ham is not Chelsea. And if you then do it again at West Ham, then Chelsea and all those clubs will not be interested in
waiting
you.
to see if Man United will join
Imagine if this guy scored.
If he has no choice, again, that's the thing. You guys are making it seem as if he doesn't have any choice in the matter.
He should not have.
That's up to again. That's up to you. Who have Chelsea been signing? Who have Chelsea been signing?
Half season, the guy was not scored 17 goals already.
As a 21-year-old,
it could have been.
It shows. It shows the level these clubs have descended.
Yes.
In the gutters. That's
dragging over Liam Delap. To the point that Liam Delap is not telling you, Chelsea and Man U, that wait, whoever qualified for Champions League, now and one sign.
wait, you guys just talked. You just finished talking about players doing what's best for their careers and saying, oh, the player should. Why shouldn't it be like Delap? Why shouldn't it be like Delap? What are you talking about?
I'm not.
You literally are clowning him for having the choice between Manchester United and Chelsea. Listen, at the end of the day, it's his career. If he has the chance to play in the Champions League, why should he not play in the Champions League? Because you don't feel like
Let's
it.
go back to the Europa League final, please. That is the lap.
Anyways, like I said,
Who is winning the Europa League final?
the Europa League final. I need Tottenham to win for the bands. It's very important.
Faruq is winning the final.
Tottenham. I want Tottenham to win.
Izu, I assume you want United to win, or you also want Tottenham to win so that Amorim can. Because I know that. Do you hate Amorim more than you love United? Let us find out.
I have not. I've never hated anybody before, right? I've hardly said a lot of things about Amorim, right? I have never wished for any United manager to lose anything. The thing is that it doesn't stop me from saying what I feel. Do you get? What I know is in the Europa League, Amorim will spank Tottenham. But for me as a fan, I know that even winning it does
change
not
anything.
tell me a lot of things about what will happen to United. Do you get? So that's what I'm saying.
Does it change your perspective on Amorim though? Because 6 league wins in how many months?
No.
is crazy.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
got
That's why
17
for
games this
me,
season.
it's just
That's
like
insane.
Højlund has 6 goals and 2 assists in 10 starts in Europa League,
But in the league.
and people are using the league to smack him, to mock him, and do every other thing. So for me, Amorim can get that, right? You try to win any game you play. Do you get? So it doesn't change a lot of things for me. I do believe he will beat Tottenham, right? I know that people want Tottenham to win for a lot of reasons, but I do think Amorim will win the cup. But I'm not really invested in that. It is when I start seeing things happen in the Premier League that I begin to say some other
So you're
things.
not
So
into the
I don't
budget yet?
know. I don't
All
hate.
right, Joba, who do you have in the final?
Unfortunately, I have to go with Man U as a Liverpool fan.
Oh, so I'm the tiebreaker. Wait, you have to go with Man U as the Liverpool fan. What sense does that
To
make?
win or to lose.
To win now.
What sense does that make?
No, I mean, I just think Spurs are like bottling Coca-Cola
Liverpool
bottling
rivalry
team.
with Spurs?
Yeah, but Coca-Cola bottling team.
No, he's saying that's why I said unfortunately.
Yeah, but he said as a Liverpool fan, he has to go.
Like,
Unfortunately, that I have to say.
All right, so as a tiebreaker, I'm not going to say anything because I don't care. I just want to watch. This is the final I'm looking forward to the most. Like I said, I believe that this is one of the most important games in football history, in my opinion. In terms of the stakes
Enough
of the
with the
game.
hype.
Thank God I said I did not say Joba business. I said I don't they apply to me and you now. So me, Tunde Young, I will be looking forward to this game more than I've looked forward to any game this season.
Russia versus Ukraine.
Russia versus Nigeria.
Okay, so let's move on to another final. But remember that quote, which has potential to be one of the hardest quotes of all time. In my second season, I usually win things. And he said it at the start of the season. If you win, we can never speak bad about that man.
I'll put in my head of Jose Mourinho.
If he wins, you said that at the start of your season as a Tottenham manager that I usually win things.
Mate, like I told you.
And you now win it. We can never talk bad about Postecoglou again. But let's move on to another final. The FA Cup final. Man City playing somebody.
Playing.
I feel like every time Crystal Palace plays in the FA Cup final, it just feels like the other team has already been crowned champions.
The last time they played was against United in 2019.
Yeah.
When was that? Was it 2019? The
Alan
Lingard.
Pardew.
Yeah, the Lingard one, 2016. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a similar type of final.
All right, so City will get to save their season.
I'll go Palace to win.
Of course.
All right.
Oh, wow. Say is it just spoil?
The rest of you predictions. Let's move on quickly.
Just
Right.
move on.
It's a show.
All right, Izu's going with Palace to win, and Izu's predictions they come lately. So let's see how that
Go and
goes.
put money on it now.
It's your choice.
How much be 1K when you feel if you put a Palace?
You want to put one game on top.
It's 1,000
Make I
naira.
give you the one.
Where's your
Wait, I mean, if you trust Izu that
Yes,
much,
exactly.
Make I give you
go
the money to
Lapo.
bet now. I go give you money to bet. So that you don't go lose anything. Make I give you 1K to bet. You don't go lose anything.
All right, let's move on. Apparently, in France, they are considering a new way to determine who wins Ligue 1. The idea is that a 4-team tournament at the end of the season from teams who finish in the top 4. Whoever wins that will then be crowned the champions of the league. So basically, a post-season format.
They are not serious.
Probably, I'm assuming because PSG are winning it too easily. So if PSG win the league in February or March, what is not going to stop them from still winning the postseason? I mean, they won't play Madrid for.
Maybe they want to kind of cement their position as a farmers league. Because
No, I also think I don't know how it will work, but if it's the 4 team tournament that would determine probably the top 4 teams, it's easy to Lobs plays a part when it comes to knockout.
It's obvious that they are just trying to at least change the outcome of who wins the league, because it is clear to them that for footballing reasons, so PSG will win this league.
Also, they are not the only league doing it. Yeah, I think the Belgian league also plays playoffs.
Yeah, but the thing is,
No,
the points
and
counts.
MLS
Nigeria
also
Women's
play.
Premier League as well. Super 6.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't
MLS
count
also
MLS
play.
because that's an American style, and that's what the French league are trying to do now. The Belgium one I mentioned is not the same thing, even though it's a post-season, but it's not the same thing. That format has existed for years. They also use it in Scotland. They use it I only know this because of betting. They use it in Greece and.
But that is the postseason that determines it.
Not
No,
necessarily.
because-
It's the entire season. Your regular season points.
Still counts.
The one you're talking about, that's what they do in American sports, which is your regular season does not count anymore. It's just these four teams now who is going to win the league. That's what we're checking. So moving swiftly on, good luck to everybody involved. Taiwo Awoniyi has input an induced coma, at least at the time of recording. We hope that by the time this comes out, it's probably fine. But the incident was him colliding, with the woodwork,
post.
and we hear he has a ruptured intestine,
Intestine.
which I checked has a 30% fatality rate. So this is not a joke.
Thing.
It's not a joking matter at all. And as someone that even saw the incident in real time, because again, betting purposes, I was watching Nottingham Forest and hoping they would score the winning goal against Leicester City. I just said it's not a joking matter. I don't know why everybody's laughing. But Elanga, who put the crossing, was very clearly offside. Like, I understand the rules of VAR, which is don't call anything offside because you might be wrong and we now deny the goal. But in cases where the offside is so clear, like it was not 1 yard, 2 yard, it was very offside and right in front of the lineswoman. I don't know if that's a word, but she was a woman. Is that not the case where you should have called it and then stopped that incident from happening? Because that's what led to it. Elanga was very offside, then he crossed the ball, and his cross was so bad that Awoniyi was trying to reach it and he stretched all his body and hit the post in the process. And so, who was at fault? Because the flip side of that also is the Nottingham Forest medical staff passing him to play on. Because before that, Nottingham Forest were getting ready to bring on Jota Silva and remove a midfielder, Anderson. But because of the injury, they had to reconsider, should we just remove Awoniyi instead? But the medical staff gave them the go-ahead that Awoniyi will play on, and then they will still remove the person they originally planned to. So who is more at fault here? Do you?
It's a freak incident, and it will be a little unfair to start apportioning blames because, first of all, yes, nobody wants to play an injured player, but you can't judge an injury of that caliber by the naked eye. They had to scan him before they realized how bad the problem was. Now, I agree that the player, obviously, he's suffering. He should have been taken off. But you now look at the eventual outcome of him having a perforated intestine. There's no way they could have known that it was that bad. So it would be a little unfair to apportion blame to them. And same thing with the Alliance person, because she was only playing by the rules. And it will also be unfair to judge her for doing her job the way she's been taught to do it, because in other cases we've seen some cases that look like very clear offsides, and then you find out that it's very little in it, or you with the semi-automated offside system, you find out that it was very little in the decision. So I think it would be unfair to say this person was at fault for the severity of the injury, because it's not something that anybody could have predicted.
That's an argument that anti-VAR people like using, that why not just raise the flag up and so that you can avoid injuries, as if injuries would not happen if it was truly onside. I don't get it. It's a really sad incident and would rather it did not happen, but it has happened. Let's just hope the player recovers quickly and very well and returns to his best form.
Yeah, our best wishes with Taiwo Awoniyi. We hope he comes back. A very good guy by all accounts, and obviously a good footballer as well. So I hope he comes back strong and recovers very, very well. I'm sure he has the best of care available. And even the other side of that story, the Nottingham Forest owner Marinakis, is being clarified that was actually what he was on the pitch arguing about. Lots of people thought he was arguing about the result, which in my opinion was still not a bad thing. Like, if you are dropping all this bar, you should be able to ask how far. Why you be beat Leicester City for house when we need Champions League?
I feel like this is coming from you as a better, as a club owner.
Not as someone who cares.
No, the point is that as a better and as a club owner, we are both invested financially. It's just that the money we will drop not be the same thing.
You also relate with him in more ways than one.
Wow.
I'm surprised you didn't realize that.
I see.
Funny enough, I have a Marinaki story. when I used to write here, when I used to work here, but when I used to write here, I think Joba remembers. I wrote the story about Marinakis and his not the Nottingham Forest media had reached out to me on Twitter and said Marinakis did not like the picture I used of him. Yeah, like the picture was unflattering, his stomach was everywhere. And it was a picture of them celebrating promotion, so his speech was disheveled. But the child said his boss said make I change the picture. I try to change that before they send sniper for me. But as we round up, much to the chagrin of our producers, Tolu Arokodare wins the Ebony Shoe Award. We have to give him credit. 22 goals, 7 assists for KRC Genk. This season, an incredible
Fantastic
season for the Nigerian who also made his Super Eagles debut this year. So it's been a great year.
Yeah,
it's been a great year for
the crying striker.
Yeah, it's been a great year for Tolu Arokodare. I'm trying to find his stats about the so. He wins this award after Paul Onachu. Paul Onachu is the last Nigerian I remember winning it.
They have almost the same height.
Yeah, that's even why they signed him. Yeah, Sell Onachu, who is the tallest available Nigerian striker.
That's actually the reason they signed him. That's the reason they gave him.
This is the Leicester Marinakis.
Yeah, they actually gave a reason. I'm not just postulating here. Anyway, he's the sixth Nigerian to win this award after Daniel Amokachi, Victor Ekpeba, Godwin Okpara, Celestine Babayaro, and Paul Onuachu. If you do not know, Ebony Shoe is not a porn category. It's the award for the best African footballer in Belgium. Because some of them, if you open your sites, like they type Ebony Shoe inside. And you go break results.
This award was also won by Vincent Company, I think in 2004. So
I just.
Yeah.
I was going to quote the story about it, but we know how Faruq feels about his colleagues. So, and if he doesn't like Stevie, that's why he not like Shea.
How did we get to you?
We have to go. Congratulations to the Flying Eagles who qualify for the semi-finals of the Under 20 AFCON, which now automatically means they are through to the World Cup as well. So maybe at the World Cup we'll be able to be interested in them. But they beat Senegal on penalties. Ebenezer Akot, the goalkeeper from Sporting Lagos Football Academy. 15-year-old. Sporting Lagos Football Academy.
Real 15 or?
Now you born them. Now
I asked no.
And
how would he know that?
He's a prodigy. His father is a goalkeeper coach. So
it's in the family.
Yeah, it runs in the blood.
So he's definitely 15.
Five stop. He made 2 penalty saves, if I'm not mistaken. He made 2 penalty saves to get Nigeria the World Cup ticket. So
I think he has a bright future, to be honest.
No, it's very good.
We don't have time to discuss this, so sorry. Congratulations also to Remo Stars who were crowned champions of the NPFL officially. Ayoola Kelechi was at this trophy presentation. Slide me. I think Izu was there too, were you?
No, I didn't attend.
Oh, she cancelled.
Why did I invite you?
No, I was not. But
why did I not invite you?
Ayoola is a badly behaved human being.
That's not the real reason, but no problem.
Do you need some money?
Bro, I hate these guys. We have to go. Thank you very much. There's no fun part today. There's nothing fun in the world of football. The next time we see you, there will be a new Europa League winner. There will be a new FA Cup winner. There will be new things happening in football. There's already a new La Liga winner.
No, not officially.
Not officially, but Barcelona, congratulations to you in advance for the domestic treble. And on that note, my name is Tunde Young, Izuchukwu Akawor, Joba Ogunwale, Faruq, Ayoola Kelechi, the slime, the wicked, some. Bye.